Boker Tov. We are continuing. We're continuing in Pesachim, Perek Zayin, Mishna Gimel. One Mishnah for today. Here we go. Sacho b'shemen teruma. So the Korban Pesach, you were allowed to not really spice it, but you could add oil. You could put oil on the outside of it. It's easier to burn. So you're allowed to put oil on the outside. And let's say that oil that was used was from Teruma. And Teruma is for the Kohanim. So, im chaburat Kohanim yochelu. If the group are Kohanim that are going to eat the Korban Pesach, they can eat it, not a problem. Im Yisrael, if let's say they used Teruma oil, but the group that's going to eat the Korban Pesach are Yisraelim, they cannot eat Teruma. So, im chayhu yedichenu. If it was not yet roasted, if the Korban Pesach was not yet roasted, but just they prepped it and they put the oil of teruma, it was not yet roasted, and now they realize the people eating it are for Yisraelim, not Kohanim. In that case, you wash off the oil and you're okay. Im tzalihu, if it was already roasted with the oil of teruma, yiklof et achitzon. So you would just yiklof, skin, trim off the outer layer, not the depth of an etzba, not as we said before in a different situation, in the depth of the size of a finger. Yiklof is superficial, not superficial, but rather just a peeling of the entire thing. Last point. Sacho b'shemen shel Maaser Sheni. So let's review the 7 years in cycle of the agricultural cycle in Eretz Yisrael. We know Shemitah is the 7th year. We leave everything fallow, etc. But the other 6 years, so we have when a person gets his produce. Let's say he gets 100 pounds of wheat. So right away, 2% he gives to the Kohen. That's teruma. Then 10% of that, so that's 2. So he has 98 left. 10% of that, which is 9.8, he gives Maaser to the Levi. And then, after that, so he's left with 80, so 9.8 minus 98, so that's 88.2. So 88.2, see, that's what he's left with. And now, he takes another 10% off of that, and now what do you do with that second 10%? So years 1, 2, 4, and 5, it's called Maaser Sheni, the second 10%. And we'll see what's there in a minute. And years 3 and 6, it's called Maaser Ani. You give that 10% to the poor. Years 3 and 6. But years 1, 2, 4, and 5, Maaser Sheni, you take that 10% and you have to eat it in Yerushalayim. So you could, if you live in Tveria, if I have stuff that's going to ruin by the time I get to Yerushalayim, you could sell it, get the amount of money, come down to Yerushalayim, and eat it there. And the Rambam explains the reasoning for it is because Hashem wanted, because Yerushalayim was the beacon of Kedusha, the Beit HaMikdash, the Sanhedrin, etc., wanted that each family is going to have more of a connection to Yerushalayim, to the Torah that's there, etc. If they have, let's say, all this money to spend in Yerushalayim, it might take them a few weeks to spend it. If they're wealthy or whatever it is, it might take a few days, but at least they spend exactly how fast money goes. Yeah. So, but they're going to spend time in Yerushalayim, they're going to gain from it. And not each person needed to go. It wasn't like Oleh Regel, but you could even have a representative from their family. So now what happened was, they used the oil of Maaser Sheni to now oil up the Korban Pesach. So now what happens is, let's say one guy, it was his oil. Now this, again, you could have used this back in wherever you were, Tveria, Haifa, you could have sold it, made money. So now what happens is, this guy uses his oil for Maaser Sheni. But there's a group of at least 30 people in your chabura. So the guy says, well, you know what, I use my oil, I want to charge you for it. Maybe I should make some money off of it. So says the Mishna, Lo ya'asenu damim al bnei chabura. You can't charge the bnei chabura for your oil. She'en podin Maaser Sheni b'Yerushalayim. Because there's no, these transactions cannot be done in Yerushalayim. Meaning, Outside of Yerushalayim, we mentioned Tiberia, Haifa, wherever you are, Beersheba, you want to come to Yerushalayim, if I'm going to bring all my products, it might ruin, etc. You're allowed to do selling, and now I got this money, now I come to Yerushalayim. But in Yerushalayim itself, you can't, if a guy had a field in Yerushalayim, you can't sell it there. You have to eat it, actually eat it there. So now they were in Yerushalayim, preparing Korban Pesach, there's no money exchange there. You can't sell, you can't make money off it, you can't do anything for your Maaser Sheni. You got to give it to them at no charge. ברוך ה' לעולם, אמן ואמן. רבי חנניה בן הקשה אומר הצעה, הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל לפיכך יבעדם תורה מסר שנאמר, אדם חפץ מן צדקו, יגדיר תורה וידיר. קדיש.